What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of the Alton Podcast. My name is Colton. I'm one of the co-founders of Alton Innovations, and I'm joined by my friend here, my co-host, Austin. Say hi to the people.
How's it going, guys? My name's Austin. I'm this other founder of Alton Innovations, and we're going to have a good time.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a very great time. If you guys are new around here, we'll be talking about literally anything we want to, whether it's technology, gaming, pop culture, what have you. And we got new episodes coming to you guys every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central Time on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Colton, let's be real here. We're new around here, too.
Oh, yeah, we're very new, very fresh. Episode 1, my guy.
So, just hoping to take a spot out of your drive, maybe, while you're going to work or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. So, catch us every week. Like I said, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Tuesdays, 8 a.m. Central. That's, I believe, 9 a.m. Eastern and 6 a.m. Pacific? I think it's a 2-hour and a 1-hour change. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know.
The world may never know, I guess.
Someone will update us.
So yeah, so just in general, Austin, how you doing, man? You have a good week?
Doing great, man. A lot of shifts, a lot of work.
Yeah.
So it's been a grind. Getting this thing set up with a little bit of work.
Yeah. I mean, we both had some early mornings today. You started work at what, 8?
6:30.
Oh. All right. I started at 8. Apparently Austin started before the sun came up, and I didn't know.
Oh yeah, there was still moisture on my car.
Good Lord. Yeah, I woke up, there was dew for the first time, I think, all season, or for the first time this season, I should say. I don't think I've seen, granted, any other day I wake up at freaking noon, so maybe there's always been dew every summer morning, but I just never realized it because I was always asleep.
Well, hate to say it, but Chicago, winter's coming.
How about that? So speaking of winter coming, Austin, you told me the other day that you just started watching Game of Thrones, yeah?
I just started it. I am in the second season now.
Oh, wow.
Episode 2.
You made it sound like you started like episode 1, like yesterday.
Well, I was probably up to episode 5 yesterday, and I binge watched a lot.
What are they, hour-long
I
episodes?
didn't sleep much last night. Yeah.
Oh. Hour-long episodes, huh? How many episodes per season?
Ooh, I think the first season was, 11 or 10. It was actually kind of short.
Okay.
HBO has a special right now where they add some bonuses. You can see the extra clips afterwards and stuff like that. I've been watching those.
Gotcha.
Takes more time, but interesting to know the background.
Okay. Do you have a favorite character?
He just died. Ned Stark.
Rip.
He was great, and then he gets his head chopped off. Sorry for the spoiler. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure, all the Game of Thrones spoilers, if you haven't seen it by now, you just deserve spoilers. Because episode 1 of the first season, what are we talking? 3+ years
2011.
ago? 2011?
2011.
8 years?
8 years, man.
Okay, either I have never been in the loop for a good 5 years, or it didn't become as mainstream as it did since a couple of years ago.
It's been mainstream, to my understanding, since day one. I just refused to watch it until it was over.
Really? I don't recall it being that long. Dude, 8 years ago, I was a freshman in high school. There's no way.
Yeah, 8 years, 2011, man.
No, I didn't hear about this show until I was in college. Are you kidding me?
Here, sorry for the typing, guys. My keyboard is obnoxious.
That's funny because I didn't hear one key.
Episode 1, April 17, 2011 launch.
That's it. On HBO?
On HBO.
Wow. Like I said, I didn't hear about it until I was in college, so that was a minimum 4 years ago. Or, sorry, maximum 4 years ago. Interesting. Wow. For those listening, I have never seen an episode. My friend, die-hard fan, not Austin, another friend, huge fan. Like, he would go to watch parties and everything. Like, I'm talking #1 fan here. He tried so many times to get me to watch it. He even invited me over to chill at his house and just watch Game of Thrones. I guess I have seen, like, the first 2 or 3 episodes. But, I don't know. It just didn't really, nothing was really to offer for me. I didn't really see anything special to keep my interest. And then I told that to my friend. He was like, well, you got to give it a chance. It doesn't really pop off until, like, season 2 or 3 or whatever he said. But I was like, but I wanted to pop off now. Like, I wanted to be interesting in season 1, obviously. So, I don't know. It kind of hit or miss for me.
So, very slow show. He's 100% right.
Yeah.
As the season progressed, it got better. It's like Harry Potter to me. Sorry if anybody loves that show, or movie, series.
Yeah.
But when I watched that, the first movie, I know it was setting the plot. It was getting the story going. It bored me to sleep. It was awful. We'll never watch again. Now, the last 2 were great. They were busy. They were exciting. They had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch. But I will never watch, like, the first 2 Harry Potters ever again in my life.
Wow. I haven't seen the Harry Potter movies in years. And the first ones I haven't seen in probably a decade. I'm sure they're older than that. Like, if we're talking Game of Thrones being 8 years old already, like, what is it? Harry Potter's got to be, like, we're talking 15, 20 years maybe even, right?
Ooh, I don't know, actually.
Like, maybe between 10 and 15, I would guess the first movie came out.
We were definitely kids when they came out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was long enough to where I don't even remember what the first movie is called.
Yeah, see, I don't even know either, and I had to watch it. If it wasn't for my ex, I would have never watched any of them. But,
man, speaking of movies, so I was told today that the It Chapter 2 movie is almost 3 hours long.
Movies are getting longer, music's getting shorter.
This is true. I honestly feel like Marvel is the reason why movies are getting longer. Granted, there's been other super long movies like Titanic. I think that has a runtime of like 3 hours, 15 minutes or something like that. And King Kong with Jack Black, I think that's also over 3 hours. And those movies are old. Titanic alone is what, 97? Yeah.
Yeah.
And King Kong is, I don't know, probably like 07 to 09-ish, I think.
They kind of keep remaking that one.
Yeah, I saw Kong Skull Island when that came out a couple years ago. It was more of a comedy. It wasn't as serious as I wanted it to be, but it was still pretty good. I enjoyed it. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there like a Godzilla versus Kong movie that came out or was rumored to come out? Maybe never did a couple years ago. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think you're right, and you know what? I haven't really watched any of the King Kong or Godzillas in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was never one of those movies that clicked like I want to watch it.
Uh-huh.
So I think you're right, but I can't speak with experience.
Yeah. I mean, the Godzilla movies, classics. I love them greatly. And there was actually just one that came out within the past 6 months. God of Monsters or something like that. I don't know. It was with the girl from Stranger Things. She was the main character, other than Godzilla, obviously. Did you get around to seeing that one, maybe?
No. I haven't watched Stranger Things yet either.
Oh. Now we got problems.
And I don't even watch TV. Like, I watch Netflix.
Stranger Things is on Netflix, brother. What do you mean?
And I refuse to click it.
Why? Because of the hype?
Because of the hype.
Austin, you're watching Game of Thrones. You can't say shit about hype.
After the hype.
But it's still probably the most episodic show of all time.
Absolutely.
So you're on the hype train.
But I'm watching it after the hype train.
So?
Hype train died. Season 8 was awful, apparently. So.
Okay, if it makes you feel better, Stranger Things, came out probably about 2 months ago. So, like, it's after the fact. Hype has died down. You should watch it.
I'll think about it.
You
After
will.
Game of Thrones.
You will. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll hold you to it. After, 6 more seasons of Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
We'll see where your
and
head's
we gotta
at.
think to it. It's gonna take me a while to watch all that.
Yeah. Not speaking of, totally random, transition here. Did you hear about the Area 51 raid being canceled?
I did. It hit my Flipboard this morning.
What do you think?
Well, for a stunt that was just, wasn't it a Facebook page?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a created Facebook page, I think was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They congregated a bunch of people together with this crazy idea, enough so government sources started actually quoting it. Quite impressive.
Yes.
All from a California native.
Yep.
So very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I have been reading things here and there that they started making a music festival around the idea of the Area 51 raid.
Yeah. Yeah, I started hearing stuff, but I don't know. That wasn't, I don't know. At least I didn't hear that being the original case for the event, but that did just kind of start popping up.
I don't think it was how it was originally planned. I think it got so big that it could support it, and people started selling for it.
Oh, interesting.
I saw an article, and I can't recall what. Oh, here we go. Here's my quote. So, somebody from a Las Vegas Review Journal, not going to name drop too much here, confirmed performers and sold 2,400 campsites.
Oh, wow.
For this Area 51 raid. Apparently, would move ahead with plans to hold her own event. So apparently something's still going to happen in the area. But I think it's going to happen in a private sector.
Like what, just next door in the field? The dirt field?
I don't know. The article's kind of bland. The source isn't the best.
Sounds like the ghetto version of Burning Man. Do you know what Burning Man is?
No.
Burning Man is like this. I'm not sure if it's a music festival, but it's this event where you literally go and live in the desert for a week, and you just come back covered in dust and shit.
That sounds awful.
But dude, it's so popular. It's crazy how popular it is. And apparently there's this big deal that people keep going and they keep having to leave early because of dehydration and stuff, because apparently the event doesn't sell water or something like that. So you gotta bring your own cases of water and food and, your shelter. You sleep in a tent, obviously. And then, so you gotta bring literally all your amenities and accommodations and stuff. So I guess people don't realize this, and they end up having to leave the event early because, they're significantly under-equipped.
That's crazy. I will never sign up for it.
Yeah. It's pretty intense. But I know a lot of content creators that go, and just the videos they make from it, impeccable stuff. Very impeccable.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And speaking of events, my dude, we're going to the Post Malone concert in 2 weeks. I'm so excited.
It's gonna be huge. So this new album he posted,
Hollywood,
making so many heads, man.
Dude, Hollywood's Bleeding, fantastic. Probably the most innovative music he's ever made to date. Honestly, it gets more innovative per album. The first album was pretty good. The second album, Beer Bongs and Bentleys, definitely a major evolution in his sound and his voice together combined. And then just this one, Hollywood's Bleeding, okay. The Ozzy feature, we looked at this, me and you, on Spotify, and he hasn't posted music since, what was it, 07?
It's been a very long time since he's been anything.
It's been over a decade, And then he comes back just kind of randomly out of nowhere on this Post Malone album, which also has a feature of Travis Scott on the same song. And the crazy part is that all three of them mesh so well in this song. It's like astonishing how well this song is put together.
It really is. And, we saw Twitter posts and other comments around the internet wondering who Ozzy Osbourne was. That he should start a new career that he already had.
Right. I mean, to be fair,
So-
he's been out of the scene for over a decade, so I can see why a lot of, especially younger people, don't know who he is.
Yes, but just do yourself a favor. Look him up. Look up some songs. Crazy Train, you probably know it.
Banger. It's true. I
You probably
guarantee
know
you,
it.
if you're younger, and if you don't know who Ozzy Osbourne is, I guarantee you, your parents, if they play music out loud, I guarantee you they have played Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne.
At least once.
At least once. Yeah. Starts with All Aboard, but it sounds like metal.
Yeah. And if you ever learn guitar, it's one of the first verses you learn.
Yeah.
It's the first verse I learned.
It's great stuff. Iconic song. And when did that song come out? Do we know? Do you know, Austin?
Offhand, I have no idea.
Like, I would imagine we're talking 90s, maybe even 80s.
I'm gonna guess early 90s, but
Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how old he is, but it might even be 70s.
Yeah, it might be.
Maybe. I'm not sure how old he is. Granted, I'm just going kind of based off my age and my parents' age. It's possible that it was in the 70s.
Yeah, I can't recall when Ozzy Osbourne came out with music for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, me neither. I only know one song by it.
Shameful.
Oh, I mean, do you listen to any Black Sabbath stuff?
No,
Nah,
not really. See, I feel like people had to make a choice. Like,
really.
you had, like Metallica, old Metallica,
Uh-huh.
or you have the other, God, I'm trying to think of their name right now. Was it Caesar?
Seether. Never heard of it.
Hold on.
I'm sorry to all the hardcore rock fans in the listening right now. I just know the basics. Pop music, we're talking like AC/DC, we're talking like Metallica, we're talking Nirvana, but I only know maybe like one or two songs from each of those. I mean, for my age, I think I listen to a lot of oldies music, or classic music, I should say. Like, let's just look at let me pull up my Spotify here. Where's my throwback playlist?
Not to cut you off here, it's Slayer. I apologize, guys. It wasn't
Slayer.
Caesar. That's a newer band, Slayer.
Yeah.
I feel like some people, you just picked one or the other, and I picked Metallica, and therefore I didn't listen to Slayer.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the same situation. Like, it's kind of like the whole Blackhawks and Red Wings. You
Got
can't
it.
be on both sides of the fence.
Got it. Yeah, that's all you had to say. Now I understand completely. So yeah, I pulled out my super throwback playlist here. So my super throwback playlist is music between the 50s and 90s. And I have 48 songs in it. That might seem like a low amount, but for someone who was born in 97, knowing 50 songs before I was born, I would say is pretty high. Like, we're talking a good 10 songs per decade before I was born. Excuse me. I would say that's a lot.
Nah.
Nah?
Not really.
How many do
Not
you
really.
know, Austin? You got a number, my guy? I don't see
I
you
don't
throwing
have
out
a number.
numbers for yourself.
Well, I don't separate my music. Like you do.
What? Dude, do you know how many playlists I have on Spotify?
I have a Spotify playlist, just one playlist with 672 songs,
Okay.
and I just hit play
Okay.
and then shuffle.
So, first of all, you need to discover new music. I have like 3,000 songs on my Spotify.
Well, I was a Pandora user until like
Ew.
maybe 12 months ago.
Austin, you can't say this. Our podcast is on Spotify.
Hey, I used Pandora for a long time.
Trash.
I switched to Spotify. once they started updating their UX, their design, how they worked with everything, yeah, Spotify became the better alternative.
Spotify is
But
God tier.
in the
Quote me.
beginning,
Quote me.
it was all like Spotify was great if you had a laptop in front of you. Perfect. If you were on desktop, Spotify is great. Spotify mobile was trash for a very long time. No offense, Spotify, but
We love you, Spotify.
you got better. You did. Took time, but you got better.
A lot better.
And now I pay for your premium. I'm a student. It's great. And
me too, but minus the
now
student.
I only use and I don't use the Pandora anymore.
Dude.
But I had 6,000 some songs thumbs up before I left Pandora.
Wow. So, I mean, okay. So, frick. What was I going to say? I totally forgot. Oh, yeah. I don't like paying subscriptions for things that, I'm not talking about bills and stuff that I have to pay, but I don't really willingly pay subscriptions for just kind of things I want, just because I feel like it's a waste of money in the long run. A perfect example, WoW. World of Warcraft. Love the game. I just can't see myself paying $15 a month for it. That's just insane. Like, even if it comes out with a new major expansion every year, it's not worth it, because you're still paying over double, maybe even 3 times the amount you would pay for a regular game that comes out once a year for $60.
Yeah, absolutely. I could never pay a prescription. I'm still at work. I'm still on my scopes, man. I'm still on my scopes.
Wow.
Let's backtrack a few steps.
Yes.
I could never pay a subscription fee for a game. However, Spotify, it's $5.
Right.
It's not bad.
I mean,
I can live with that.
I don't have
Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Well, see, that's different.
No, it's a subscription.
No, it's not. Well, okay, it's a 1-year subscription. It's a little different.
But it's basically a monthly.
I mean, I guess, but it's cheaper than Spotify. Isn't that crazy?
How much is it?
It's student $49.
It's not cheaper by much.
And if you pay full price, which I do, it's $100. So technically, it's $20 cheaper a year than Spotify. But for example, so what I'm trying to say is, back to my original point, Spotify, I pay for $10 a month. Why? I don't like ads. Who wants to listen to ads? And it's $10. That's nothing if you have a job. We're talking 1 or 2 hours max at work, and you already have a month of ad-free listening. What more do you want?
I agree.
It's, if you guys haven't noticed, my favorite word is impeccable. I'm going to say it so many times. Yeah, impeccable, predominantly. That word comes up a lot in mine and Austin's meetings all the time.
Yeah, it really does. It's crazy. Make a hashtag if you guys listening to this. Make the hashtag.
Yeah, but make sure you also use the hashtag Alton Podcast and tag us in it.
Absolutely.
Because hopefully by the time this episode is out, we will have the Twitter of Alton Podcast. So make sure you guys go follow that on the Twitters. So we talked about Area 51, Austin.
Well, let's go back a little bit. So you mentioned WoW.
Oh yeah, World of Warcraft.
Yeah, so let's just go right into Gears 5 here.
Ooh, okay.
So Xbox did a brilliant thing.
Yes.
They did a subscription that they've had forever, since Xbox has been a thing to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Game Pass, thank you. And they made $1. You got it. You got the Gears 5 for $1.
Mm-hmm.
So you paid for the pass, which I think is 60, 20.
Is it that much?
I don't remember, because I'm not really an Xbox guy. I was a PlayStation guy because it was free.
I think 20 sounds about right. Now that I think about, I think I'm thinking about Xbox Live, which is what, $5.99 a month or something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But I mean, look back at WoW. They have a subscription fee to play online.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, to play their game is $15 a month. That's the same thing Xbox has been doing for a very long time that I use it.
But it's cheaper, and I never bought it anyway. I despise paying for gaming services. I just can't. Because most of the market is one-time payments. Once a year, granted, but it's just significantly cheaper. It's a money grab. That's all it is.
Absolutely. And they knocked out with this stunt. They knocked out Fortnite.
Yep.
Only on Xbox. So Steam didn't get a lot of. It wasn't a big hit on Steam, probably because everybody saw they can buy it for $1 on Xbox, and why would they go to Steam for it?
Right.
Why would you pay $60 for a game you can get $1?
Right.
So, but it hit hard. Like, I have a quote here, according to a mod. I'll name drop that one.
Ooh.
Not everyone is going to pay $60 for a AAA game that also requires a $400 console purchase. But I did that. I bought my PS4 and PS3. It was called Lawn Mowing Hard Work, and then you pay for the $60 game.
True.
Builds character. The user base will do it. It's just how often you're going to sell.
Yeah.
So it was a nice stunt.
Yeah. And did you mention the Fortnite part?
Briefly.
Okay. So just in case it didn't come across, I guess clear, Gears 5 beat Fortnite as September's most played Xbox Live game. Impeccable.
And it's still holding that right now.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. People are thinking Borderlands 3 may or may not beat it. I guess we'll see. Because Gears 5, like you said, it was only $1. I guess technically $21 if assuming the Game Pass is $20. Either way, we're talking over half the cost. But Borderlands 3, to my knowledge, is full price. And it's on Epic Games Launcher. But, I mean, I don't know. The whole launcher thing, I don't think you can really even mention that. Because, to my knowledge, you can only play Gears 5 through the Microsoft Store on PC.
And Steam.
Right? Oh, you can't. I thought you couldn't play it on Steam, but you could use the Steam Friends feature.
So I read a report. There was about, I think, 10,000 roughly players on day one launch Gears 5 on Steam.
Okay.
Or 100,000. Sorry,
100,000. You're telling me only 100,000 people are playing Fortnite these days?
Well,
less,
no, Steam,
actually?
Yeah, no. According to this, so Steam had a really low hit. Because, like I said, why would you pay $60 for a game that you can get for $1 on Xbox Live?
Right.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. But I have Steam pulled up here, Gears 5, first thing you see. Let's click this real fast. It's got mixed reviews, 2,796 reviews currently. So it's, it's kind of only being out for not even 10 days, 9 days here. That's a little iffy right there. I have one friend of my Steam library, or Steam friends that have it.
Mm-hmm.
I have about 65 friends on Steam. And let's see here. It only got an 81 out for Metacritic.
I mean, that's pretty high still.
But still, that's not high for Metacritic? Not really.
I personally don't know what Metacritic is. Is that just a well-known critic website for video games?
They're a very common critic website.
Gotcha. The name kind of rings a bell, but I've never looked into it. And I'm not sure if you know this, Austin. Maybe you can answer this for me. I've personally never played any of the Gears games. What even is it? What's the point of the game? What type of game even is it?
Unfortunately, I haven't played a single one of them. So I don't know.
Okay.
I know it's a classic game. It was out old school. It was good. It was awesome. My friends played the hell out of it. I did not. Those years I was playing Jack and Dexter.
Gotcha.
Old school Call of Duty, stuff like that. I wasn't playing.
Old school Call of Duty.
Yeah, I wasn't playing Gears.
Man. So it says, let's see what we got here. 5 thrilling modes of the deepest campaign. It's really not telling me what the game is, honestly. Third-person shooter video game. Wikipedia, help me out here.
Wikipedia? What kind of source is that?
Dude, it's the source. What are you talking about? Let's be real.
What are you talking about?
Bro, come on now.
Come on, if I use Wikipedia as a source of my college paper, I'm gonna get an F.
This is true, but let's also throw the facts that Wikipedia gives you the most information about everything. Let's be real here.
It's user generated. It can be faulted.
I mean, it's possible, but
It's likely.
I don't know about likely. Nah. Let's see here. The player must uncover the origin of the Locust and Kate's family. So is it just a third-person story game?
I don't know if they have multiplayer. I really don't. It might. I know their campaigns are known to be great. But for me to picture myself buying a game for $60, let's just say I don't use Xbox.
Yeah.
Just for a campaign, I don't see myself doing it these days.
Yeah.
Everything's online now.
True. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. There's a sweet spot, obviously, because like you just said, everything's online these days. Everyone's trying to connect, play games. I don't know. It really depends. But, there is that group of people that really likes their stories. I mean, Borderlands 3, obviously, super popular right now. Then again, that has multiplayer, I'm pretty sure. But because I've played Borderlands 2, from what I've seen, it kind of seems like more of a single player game, in my opinion. But you can also run through stuff with friends if you really want. But another game I bought just because of the story is a game called Horizon Zero Dawn. Came out that was probably a while, probably about 2 or 3 years ago now. But I bought it simply for the story aspect, and I don't buy story games that often. I'm obviously more on the multiplayer end of things, but if a good story pops up, I'll definitely pay $60 to play it.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I don't know if I would. I might. If it at least had a co-op option, we'll bring a friend in. That'd be different.
Yeah.
That adds an aspect.
Obviously.
But just to buy a solo, I don't know if I could do it. That'd be boring. Like, I like playing games by myself sometimes.
Yeah.
It's relaxing. But just for the solo campaign, like, that's all you're gonna offer me?
Yeah. I mean, it really depends. Like, what's your take on, like, story games that you don't, like, actually play? You just pick the decisions?
I can't say I've played very many of those. I don't think I actually have played one of them that is noteworthy in my opinion.
Yeah.
Generally, I like to control, like, I know in the game you're gonna hit the path the creator wants.
Right.
But I want the option to lose several times in that path.
Yeah. That's actually similar to a game I just watched from a content perspective, like on YouTube. I watched a creator he played this game called, I think it's called Sea of Medan or something like that. There were definitely faults he made that cost him the game in the end. The endings were just really kind of unexpected, which probably made the game even better, to be honest with you. But do you think those games are worth like $60 though?
No, not a chance. To a select market, they'd probably pay for it, absolutely. But as far as what I'd pay for, no.
Yeah.
It wouldn't appeal to me. Now, if it was on sale for $5 in my Humble Bundle,
yeah,
would I download it? Maybe.
Yeah. Now,
but I don't think it'd get more than a couple hours of game time out of me.
Yeah. Let me, I'm just kind of trying to look for the game here. Maybe it'll pop up. It's called Man of Medan, I think. Let me search this. Here we go. Yeah, Man of Medan. I just kind of want some money on here. How much this game is. We're looking at Steam here. Oh, it's only $30. Okay.
That's still a lot.
I mean, it's what you would expect for, I would say, the average PC game that isn't a AAA title like Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Interesting. So, I mean, yeah, I would have paid $30 for that game for a solid experience, and you can replay it for your different endings if you really want to.
That's a lot of work.
I mean, it's no different than watching your favorite movie over and over again.
Yeah, I really don't do that either.
Wow. Have you seen The Dark Knight, Austin?
Yes.
How many times have you watched it?
Once.
What?
One and done, man.
Austin, that is by far the best Batman movie of all time, and I have seen it 50 times.
So, for example, okay, the new Avengers came out in-game.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
I've watched it twice. I've only watched it twice because I watched it with my dad and my aunt on Father's Day because he hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I will probably never put that in a DVD player again in my life.
So here's the thing. I don't buy DVDs, but when these movies are on TV, I will make time and watch them because they are that good.
It was a fantastic movie. Like,
oh, yes.
It was awesome. If I had friends over, maybe I'd watch it again. But as far as me by myself with what I do in my personal time, I'm not going to rewatch the movie.
Okay.
It's just weird. I don't know why.
Okay. And while I have you on topic, who's the better Joker, Heath Ledger or Jared Leto?
Ledger.
My man. All right. Next topic.
So, okay, just community update here.
Oh.
So, Colton, while I was away at work today, and maybe part of yesterday.
Okay.
He made a script. Just basic guidelines, nothing spelled out, just some topics, you know. We have barely touched our script. We have completely derailed.
But it's a good derailment. It's not a derailment. We're just off the topics we had set in stone.
To an extreme level.
Yeah, we're solid.
I'm just thinking mental notes for next time. Maybe we don't need this. Maybe we just put a mic in front of us and just go.
I mean, we should at least have the list to make sure we hit key stories. But we've hit other key stories that I think are flowing very well for us.
I think you're right. But I mean, I'm seeing a lot to cover here.
I mean, I think it only looks like a lot to cover because I made more notes for the Apple Keynote, which we will get into in a little bit here.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, but we're going to fly through those certain points there because they're all going to be said kind of at the same time. Or at least that's how I envisioned it. But we're rocking at, kind of like a solid 39 minutes here. So we got nothing but time, guy.
We had an interruption.
True.
So
yeah.
We did have one.
Yeah, the recording's at 41 minutes, but I already I was trying to let the people know that there was no interruption, Austin. Come on now.
I'm an honest guy, man. I can't do it. We had an interruption. We're still working kinks out.
We did have an interruption, but it was okay.
Bear with us.
It's all right. So before we get into the hefty portion of this podcast, which is probably going to be this Apple Keynote that happened about 4 or 5 days ago now. Totally random pop culture thing, Austin. The chicken sandwich ordeal.
So honest to God, when I was looking through your script when I got on this Discord call with you, I had no idea why you put Popeyes versus Chick-fil-A.
Why?
Nothing.
Why?
Because I didn't know it was a thing.
What?
So, but today at work...
Do you open the internet at all, Austin? What is wrong with you?
I mean, I scroll through Facebook once a day, Instagram once a day, and that sums it up.
Bro, that stuff should have been at the top of your algorithm on all of the platforms. What do you mean you haven't seen anything about Popeyes versus Chick-fil-A?
Nothing, dude.
Nothing. You're kidding.
So, a patient today
Yeah.
was talking to me. He was really sick, yada yada. He sent his wife out to get a Chick-fil-A sandwich. The wife called him back saying the line was around the store and they were out of that sandwich.
Okay. First of all,
same thing happened. Well, it was a Popeyes. Sorry.
Okay,
Popeyes.
I was just about to say that's impossible.
Yeah. So, sorry, Popeyes. And I sat down on my chair and I'm going, I haven't been to Popeyes.
You've never been to Popeyes?
No.
Oh. I mean, to be fair, I've only been there, I think, 2 or 3 times. It's low enough to where I can literally count the times I've been there. I'm sad to say, though, I've never tried a Popeyes chicken sandwich. Ever.
See, it's one of those things. Like, I see Popeyes, I go, oh, okay, I'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
And it's not a Popeyes.
So, we're in agreement that the answer is Chick-fil-A.
I mean, I feel like I can't accurately say that because I have not had Popeye.
I mean, true, but, okay, Chick-fil-A is the best chicken sandwich ever.
Chick-fil-A is awesome. I love it.
Chick-fil-A,
But, like,
oof.
Colton, until last year, when I bought my car,
Yes.
that was the first time I've
I
had
know.
Chick-fil-A.
I know. I took your Chick-fil-A virginity, and it was great.
And that was 11 months ago.
Dude, I've only had Chick-fil-A 3 or 4 times. And I think that's also why
I've had it too.
It's so great. Like, because I live far enough to where I'm not going to go there every day. Like I do with, let's just say, like Taco Bell or McDonald's or whatever, right? The closest Chick-fil-A in both directions is a good probably 25 to 40 minutes. It's, it's far enough to where I don't really want to commit to it, but it's close enough to where, like, we're going to get there probably once a month.
I hit Chick-fil-A when I'm in that area.
I mean, yeah.
And, like, I don't want to wait.
Right.
Because they're always fast. They have such a crowded place.
Dude.
And they're fast.
It's insane. I actually just saw a meme on this. It's actually pretty funny. Like, you'll be literally wrapped around behind, I kid you not, 40 to 50 cars, but you'll get your food in under 5 minutes. It's insane how efficient they run those lines.
Dude, they are the Jimmy Johns of fast food.
Dude, and, like, let's just compare a similar drive-thru line, Portillo's. I'm always in the Portillo's line for 20 minutes. Every single time. No doubt about it. I'm sitting in that line for at least a good 15.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why, though? Like, granted, some people might be buying ribs and stuff from Portillo's. Maybe it takes longer. So, I guess that does make sense why Chick-fil-A would be faster. The hardest thing they have to make is probably a salad because they got to hand make it. And for all we know, they're probably pre-made or pre-assembled. I mean, right. Right. But yeah, I mean, Chick-fil-A it's king. Let's be real. Like, I love it so much. Even if the Popeyes chicken sandwich was better, I would probably still want Chick-fil-A no matter what, just in general, because I already have such a massive love for it. It's S-tier chicken sandwich, Austin. S-tier.
But see, now you have a bias.
Okay. Your point?
So now if we did a segment to figure out, like, if we wanted to experience the chicken sandwich of Popeyes together.
Yes.
Do a segment on it.
Oh,
no, we can't.
We will definitely. We will definitely do another Popeyes and Chick-fil-A segment when the Popeyes chicken sandwich comes back in to stores. Because currently it's sold out because it was actually a pilot run for a new chicken sandwich that Popeyes was selling. A lot of people surprisingly don't know that part. People think, oh, it's sold out, it's never coming back. That makes absolutely no sense. Well, yeah, it was because it was a promotional item.
Yeah, I had no... I see Popeyes, but I don't go there.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, they have decent food. Like, those Cajun French fries, they're pretty freaking good. I'm not gonna lie. But, I don't know, the chicken strips, though, like, they're good, but there's, like, no meat on them. It's not worth $8 for a box, I'll tell you that. Also, I'm not gonna lie, their biscuits are pretty good, too. Like, how can you make a biscuit good? Like, it's... Like, compared to KFC, their biscuit is, like, 10 out of 10 compared to a KFC biscuit. Have you ever had a Popeyes biscuit, Austin?
I haven't had Popeyes.
Oh, my God, you're right. We definitely need to hit a Popeyes before one of the next podcasts. It's a must.
Have you had a Red Lobster?
Have I had a Red Lobster? Yes, of course.
That's the best biscuit out there.
Now, okay. Now we're getting into cheddar biscuit territory, okay? We're getting somewhere where Popeyes and KFC can't even fathom because they don't put cheese on their biscuits. Is it even fair?
I mean, just a plain Red Lobster biscuit. Great. fantastic.
Yes, I agree. But there's cheese in it.
Top-notch biscuits.
Did you know that? There's cheese in them?
No, I did not know that.
Bro, they're called cheddar biscuits. You didn't know?
No.
Wow. We're teaching Austin all sorts of things, everybody.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So, how are we on biscuits?
Bro.
That's our conversation.
Bro, I did not think we were going to last this long on Popeyes and Chick-fil-A. We're not even talking about Chick-fil-A and Popeyes anymore. We're talking about Red Lobster biscuits. Like, bro, the segments here, dude, it's great. Gotta love podcasts, the long-form content. Nothing stopping us, my dude. Nothing.
It's great. And by the way, G Fuel.
G Fuel, the soon-to-be sponsor of this podcast. Everybody go to gfuel.com, buy yourself some Tropical Rain. It's some great stuff, I promise, and I'm not getting paid to say this. It's just a fantastic product. Go drink it. It's so good. What's your take, Austin?
Colton, he got me invested into it. I did buy one of the multi-variety packs.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be honest, I haven't actually tried one yet because
Don't
kill me. I just haven't had time. I just haven't had the time. I've been trying to quit the caffeine addiction. I'm trying to get a little bit healthier. So I'm letting that clear my system, and then maybe I'm gonna talk a few in.
Austin, you quit caffeine 2 or 3 weeks ago. What do you mean you don't have time to make a freaking G Fuel, my dude?
Hey, so I quit caffeine beginning of August, man. It's been a month.
It's been 6 weeks since the beginning of August.
Solid.
Okay. Well.
So I'm giving myself, a little bit of time.
I mean, all right.
But, G Fuel, if you're chiming in here, sponsor us. Yes. Send us that email. We'll take it. 1,000%.
Yes. I already have your merchandise. Granted, this isn't a video form podcast, but maybe they can hear me do the little shake. Maybe, possibly, and then hear the oof. Okay.
Well, we can just name drop you through the whole podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be annoying. We can't do that.
As I sip on this beautiful Fazeberry in my black on black shaker cup, courtesy of G Fuel at gfuel.com.
And I'm very sure that Colton's already spent like $300-400 on your product.
I don't know about that much. With BOG, because I usually only buy when BOGOs are happening, buy one get ones. I have easily spent $100. I can tell you that. It's probably more like $150. I don't think we're at $200 yet though.
I'm very surprised.
I mean, if you think about it though, yeah, I might be dropping $30 to $60 at a time, but that $30 to $60 is gonna last me months.
It's true.
So, I mean, I've only known G Fuel for maybe not even a year yet. Well, I've known about G Fuel for years, but I just started using it, I think, within the past year or something like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, so Colton and I, what kind of got me started in this, complete derail, kind of sidetrack here. But he put my name down on an Instagram giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
On G Fuel. And we freaking won. Yeah,
we won the G Fuel contest. We won the, the Sour Blue Chug Rug contest, the Phase Rug flavor. It was a decent flavor, but it did ultimately get me into using the tub every day. So I used G Fuel for 30 to 40 days straight. And then I was like, wow, this is impeccable. I haven't drank Mountain Dew in ages. My stomach feels better because I'm not drinking carbonation. And, like, all in all, and it's packed with vitamins, 25 calories. I act like I'm selling it right now, but they're not even a sponsor. It's literally just that good, people. gfuel.com. Thank me later.
And you know what? Speaking of sponsors for drinks, Body Armor.
Austin likes Body Armor.
That stuff is fantastic.
You, my dude. Keep going.
It's all me, man. It's a sports drink. Super hydration, man. I fill these things up. Drink one a day. It has coconut water, vitamin rich.
Yeah.
Potassium instead of sodium, so it's much better for your heart.
Yep.
So Gatorade. It has a lot of sodium. If you make it a habit and you're not actually doing physical activity, it's bad for you. Mm-hmm. It's not good for you.
Dude, do you know how
Common
much
mistake.
sugar? Do you know how much sugar is in Gatorade?
Not offhand.
Dude, it's insane. Like, it's more of a sugar drink than you think it is.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it
Wow.
might have, what is it, like 13 grams or 13 electrolytes, whatever it is. But it's just nothing but sugar.
Well, you know what? Body Armor, for all you gluten people, it's gluten-free.
Oh, my uncle
I'm not a
appreciate
gluten
that.
person, but it is.
Yeah.
And no caffeine. So you get all your energy hype from the B12.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's fantastic. Number one sports drink on the market, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a shot.
Oof. How much is it a bottle?
So, you can get an 8-pack.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Walmart, about $6.
That's not bad.
So, if it was your main drink, it's pricey. But I drink one a day.
I mean, so what are you buying? About 4? That's only about 24 to 30 bucks a month. That's cheaper than my G Fuel by about $5, maybe $10, depending on how many you drink.
And you gotta think, if you're an avid pop drinker like I used to be, this was my replacement. This is what helped me stay off of pop.
Yeah.
So I've saved a lot of money still buying these things compared to pop costs. Because you gotta figure, you buy a 12-pack, that's, if it's not on sale, $5.
Right. I mean, it really depends on the pop too, because one of my favorite pops is Mountain Dew Kickstart, and you get a 16-ounce can for like 98 cents.
That's true.
Maybe like $1.50.
Mm-hmm.
And that obviously has enough caffeine to wake me up and get my day going, keep my day going. But, it really just depends on the pop. But if you're going on a bottle of pop for 16 ounces, then, like, you're paying $2, $2.50 for that. So it's like, what's the fine line? It's kind of weird, actually. You would think plastic would be cheaper than metal or aluminum, assuming that is the reason why things are more or less, because it's the same product on the inside.
Yeah, but you gotta figure it's a convenience factor. So if you're driving down the road, do you want a small can or do you want a bottle?
I prefer a can just because it's already open.
But see, most people prefer a bottle. They want a cap on it to keep it safe, doesn't splash in their car that way.
Yeah.
And because of how the bottle is shaped and designed, it looks taller and bigger than a can, even though the ounce difference is only 4.
That's true. It's all deception.
It's all deception, man. And I was part of that. They got me. They had me for a long time, and
How
I'm
so?
done. Because I used to always buy the bottles of pop.
So what do you buy now? Cans?
Nothing.
Oh, well. So what are you saying was the deceptive part? Just all of it kind of as a whole?
No, the bottles are the deceptive part. Because I would buy that bottle, and even still, I buy the bottle because I have a new car. I don't want to get Pepsi or whatever I was drinking all over my car, so I got a cap.
I mean, I guess.
So they got me, not because of the amount, but because of the cap. It's all the cap.
Yeah. Well, we're just talking about convenience factor there and like ease of mind for the user. Like
But that's huge.
I mean, yeah. I mean, from a design perspective, obviously, yeah, it's huge. Ease of mind and accessibility is kind of in there too. But I mean, I get what you're saying. I just think it's more of a convenience thing than an ease of mind thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna get back on script here.
Yeah, I mean, there's really there's only one major thing left we need to talk about. And it's the Apple Keynote that happened on Tuesday, September 10th. Did you read up on any of this, Austin?
I've gotten some bits and pieces. As you know, I have a lot of friends that are Apple users. My entire clinic that I work at, every one of them, iPhone.
Yeah.
iPhone, Apple Watch, the crew, except for me, because, but we'll get into those details another time.
Yeah.
Their new Apple Watch does look solid. I got to give it to them.
It looks the exact same. What are you talking about?
It just, I've always liked the Apple Watch. I think it's one of their best products that they have.
Yeah. I mean, I will agree with you. Apple has some very nicely designed hardware. I will give them that. It's very sleek, very kind of curvy, fits in the hand good. It looks great. Space gray, such a great color.
Mm-hmm.
Except for those stupid like switches or keys they had on the previous Macs that I think they are now replacing with better ones. But other than those keys, everything is pretty solid hardware wise. On the outside, like visually. But carry on.
Yeah.
So everybody has, you said, Apple Watches and stuff?
Everybody on my crew.
Yeah.
A couple doctors I work with don't. But I mean, as far as people that I work with every day, they all have Apple.
Yeah. Have you asked them why?
You know, I can't.
Why?
So
This should be good.
you can't ask a person who has been on a trend for a long time with no tech background why they use iPhone or why they use Samsung.
I mean, I guess you're right.
It becomes to a point where it's not because it's better or worse. It's because that's what they're used to and that's what they want to stay with.
It's just hype initially, right? And then they're just locked in. Is that what you're saying?
Kinda, yeah. So
Yeah.
like, it's like the old Xbox PS4 thing or Xbox PlayStation.
Yeah.
You had the people that, you know, would argue about it and feud about it, that would throw statistics out and they would throw hardware out and they would like actually debate on it.
Right.
And then you have people like my coworkers, unfortunately, that if I go, why do you have iPhone? They're just going to go, because it's better.
I got you. Right. That's me and you.
That doesn't do anything for me.
What do you mean it doesn't do anything for you?
Like, give me the specs. Why is it better?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're going to cover that too. I mean, it was just terrible how... I hate how Apple gives us words and not numbers. It pisses me off.
It makes you look harder.
Right.
So
and...
I used...
Go ahead.
As Colton knows, I used to work for a school system that was all iMac, iPad. And I was part of the IT department, so I repaired these things every day for 2 years, more like 3 years. And just seeing how they make the laptops. Yeah, they made, you know, a special certification to repair them, of course. Thankfully, I didn't need to get that. And it's just because of how intricate they make the back of the laptop. I'm not a big laptop repair guy for Windows machines, so I don't have much experience on both realms. But I would have to take off the bezel of the screen to replace the screen.
That is ridiculous.
That's just too much work.
The
if
bezel?
You have to take Yeah, the bezel, man. Heck, it's just awful. To take the hinges off, you have to take off a wire that goes around the back of the board. These are the old MacBook Airs, by the way, not the new one.
Yeah.
I can't speak for them. You took a wire all the way off the board. It was tied, so the back of the motherboard, or the back of the laptop has a motherboard that has like one solid piece. It's like a kind of a rectangle. And then a little bitty square that has like the headphone jack with the charging port, but they're two separate board pieces.
Yeah.
Which, to me, those little tiny board pieces, they failed often for our students.
Oh, yeah?
So it was like a fault to have it as two pieces. Nothing else has it as, to my knowledge. Again, I could be completely wrong. Maybe other products do. I have a Chromebook now, so I don't know what the internal specs look like of that. It might do something similar. But being it has a charging port on both sides, that'd be two separate chips and two separate small boards. I don't think that's feasible. I think it just makes more sense to put it on the motherboard.
Right.
You know, one piece.
Right.
Don't make the IT guys work harder.
Yeah. And since we're on the topic of Macs, even though those weren't introduced in this keynote, they were introduced a couple months ago in a previous keynote. I just have to mention it. Just the price on that Mac Pro, insane.
let's just talk about the cheese grater
That
that they released.
that is the Mac Pro.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm used to Mac Pros being laptops.
True. Well, that's a MacBook Pro.
Okay, I'm just not good with the Apple lingo apparently.
I mean, who's to say you have to be? You don't even own anything Apple.
That's fair. So that cheese grater. I'm sorry if you guys love that thing and the device is what you guys like and Apple's huge on your part.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
It's always going to be a big debate whether who's better, Samsung, Apple. Eventually, Google's going to hit that list harder. I know they will.
Right.
So everybody's to each their own. But if you are a gamer, if you like to create, if you like, well, besides music, Apple does that great. Music and video, they're solid with.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like to produce, do your 3D CAD software, if you want to, that's for engineering, by the way. If you want to play games, high FPS, 2080 graphic cards, if you want to really do a hobby of yours online,
mm-hmm.
that cheese grater for what's the cost at it starting? Like $2,000?
That's a joke, right?
I don't remember.
If I remember correctly, its starting price is about $6,000.
Okay, so $6,000, you can get top-notch everything on a Windows.
Right.
Everything. I mean, you're talking top-notch keyboard. You can get a set of 3 monitors for that price, solid ones.
Oh,
all
yeah.
4K, guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
2080 Ti, you can get a solid modular power supply, great motherboard. I mean, 2 terabyte SSD drives. Sorry if I'm talking lingo.
Oof.
Sorry, that's a hard drive. Sorry.
You're good,
but
man.
You can get much better components than what Apple has to offer as far as their laptops and their, I guess, desktop is concerned.
Right.
Their iPhones, they're solid. They really are. I can't bicker too much on them. I don't like how they're laid out.
Yeah.
I don't like how they're marketed personally. Just as a consumer standpoint, I don't like it.
Oh, we'll get into that part very shortly. I have something very interesting that you might not even realize.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So the marketing with Apple kind of rubs me the wrong way. Always kind of has. But they're solid. They're good.
Regarding the deceptive marketing with Apple, did you know that their base iPhone 11 is actually just an updated iPhone XR?
No, but I can't say I'm surprised.
Right. It's okay. Well, first of all, it's $699. It's, if I'm not mistaken, the first Apple phone for $700 in 2 generations.
Okay.
And then the iPhone 11 Pro is actually the new baseline that would have technically been the iPhone 11 this year.
Yeah, so what I'm seeing there is, if I'm not mistaken, the iPhone 11 Pro starts at $1,000, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what they're trying to do, because they had that iPhone X, or XR.
Yeah, the 10R.
10R, thank you. And that sold for about $1,100, right?
No, the 10R was $750, I think.
$750? So what was their iPhone X? Was their high market item last round, right?
Their high item was the 10X Max.
10X Max, okay. So they probably saw decent sales for that. You gotta figure, and again, I mean, no disrespect to your community, but when Apple users, the Apple consumers are used to spending $1,500 to $2,000 on just a laptop.
True.
The market, as a company, okay, they're gonna pay for our stuff. They're not looking at everything else. They just are gonna keep with MacBooks. They're gonna keep with Apple. So that's why they're doing this. They're making their new phone the actual upgraded model, the $1,000 base price,
right?
To try and amp up their sales, amp up their revenue. Which is probably why Apple hit its 11-month high after the latest keynote revealing.
Right.
So after that keynote, according to Business Insider here, Apple shares jumped as much as 2.7% Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it's all because it's not because their quality is getting better. It's not because they're getting more customers. They maybe are, but it's mainly because they're making their phones more expensive.
Right. And one thing I found interesting, that the difference between the 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max, first of all, the price difference is only $100, but the only thing that's different is it's a bigger display and a slightly better battery. That's literally it. Like, it's like, what's the point of even making the Max if it's literally just the size difference?
I don't know. But a lot of phones do that.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's common, but if you're going to be paying A, more money, and B, have a bigger phone, why is there only like slight spec bumps in it? I feel like there should be more significant changes in it for a higher price. Like, it's so minimal of a change. Like, what's the point? That's what I'm trying to get at. Aside from the size in hand.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. It's definitely probably not the size increase of the phone with the size increase of the battery. Probably doesn't make that big of a difference. But
Right.
you got to figure they're limited. So they used, if I'm not mistaken, I think everybody still uses lithium cell batteries.
Yeah.
So they have a fixed size and rate to do the chemical reaction, and I just learned this in chemistry last semester. It's pretty awesome stuff.
Ooh.
So you have to have that fixed size. There's no way to shrink that yet. So without making the phones ginormous in the size of tablets,
Yeah.
they can't actually physically make a battery better. So you have to choose between a standpoint of, okay, do I make the phone bigger to give the battery more, which then technically more products use, so they can kind of up the price a little bit. I think $100 is pretty modest, especially for Apple. I was expecting $3.
Yeah.
Or are you going to kind of keep that standard size and try to optimize the apps and stuff within it to make that battery you have and are stuck with better?
Right.
So it's really it's hitting a bottleneck very soon, just like computers have. You know, we're hitting that day and age where graphics cards are just getting bigger.
Yeah.
They're getting better because they're getting longer. The data board is getting longer.
Yeah.
Hard drives can only get as fast as SSDs because of data transfer limit rates. So we're hitting a lot of bottlenecks in technology right now. It's going to be very interesting over the next couple decades how they're going to get through it.
Yeah. And I'm actually looking at the Apple website right now. It seems like the only iPhone 10 for sale is the 10R. They're not selling the top two, the two more expensive ones. So they kept the cheaper one, it looks like, because people are wow, actually this starts at $599. Well, okay, I would imagine it went down in price because the new one just released. But I mean, that's a cheap phone. That's a mid-range competitor right there.
So they're probably doing that because of the these upcoming expensive guys. They want people to buy their new phone.
Right. But correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't the 10, was it 10S Max? I don't know. There was an S in there somewhere, I think. Wasn't their biggest 10? Didn't it start at like 1,200?
See, I can't recall anymore. So my friend, good buddy of mine, he has the iPhone X, I believe. I don't think it's the X Max. It's the X.
Okay.
And I believe I remember him telling me it was about $1,000.
Right.
And that just blew my mind.
What, how expensive it was?
Yeah, because around the same time, maybe a little bit after that, I can't recall exact dates, but that's when I got the Samsung Galaxy S9. And that, I think, was $700-800 top.
Yeah. I mean, that's how much that was when it came out. Yeah, that's how much that was when it came out. But I think Apple is the one that introduced the $1,000 smartphone, And then the Galaxy S10, I believe, is also $1,000 now with their lower version, the 10e or whatever at 750 or 700. Yeah.
Which makes me think that the new norm, because Apple was able to pull off this stunt, is going to be $1,000 phones.
Oh, of course. And then there's also going to be a lower tier phone for probably about $500 to $750.
Exactly. And it's something that we've essentially lived on good marketing. It used to be you had to buy the phone up front, and then years later they introduced payment plans,
right?
With company contracts.
Yeah.
Genius. You're paying for the phone monthly. Right. You're paying for the contract monthly, and then 2 years later you get an upgrade. And what do? You upgrade it because technology gets slow.
True.
So you get a constant user base, always buying new phones, always need it. So they're always paying you that monthly bill. You never actually pay off the phone unless you pay it in cash.
Right.
And almost nobody does.
Right. And I think that's actually what I'm going to start doing is just buying phones outright because, it's technically not outright. When I mean outright, I mean not doing it through my carrier, Verizon, because I also have a Best Buy credit card, as you know. So I might just do it through them just to build my credit a little bit more. But there's really no reason to go through a carrier if you have the money to just put more into the phone anyway.
So the problem is they've made it so convenient to do so because they don't take a loss. They take a gain no matter what. So if we buy a phone outright, say we save a couple $100 or $100, most likely we're still going to follow the trend of buying a new phone every 2 years.
Oh, no, I'm not doubting that at all. Of course I'm going to do that.
So, Colton, you'll be losing money, not gaining.
I mean, it's the name of the game. Got to get that double processing speed every 2 years, my guy.
But, I mean, you wouldn't benefit from buying a phone outright. Just stick with the payment plans.
Right.
I think my Samsung S9 was maybe $30 a month. And then you figure the phone plan with T-Mobile's cheap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you bought a phone outright, say you got it for $500, you have to use that phone for at least 20 months before conversion.
Right.
So that's really close. I mean, it's not a big difference, and you're probably not going to find the newer tech phones off that price. And I just want to do a side note here. Forgive any choppy editing or stuff like that. Colton's going to have to work very hard here. We have had a few setbacks.
Oh, no, that's not good. We'll be
to
great.
be expected, but we're getting the bugs figured out here, one step at a time.
Yeah. And regarding the whole payment plan thing with the carriers, like you touched on a little bit ago, people are just so used to doing it anyway. So people just don't even really think twice about it because they're kind of just already used to that portion of their bill. And if they constantly upgrade, they're just always going to have that portion of the bill.
So many phone carriers now, I know at least T-Mobile and I think AT&T did too. They have a new plan you can pay. So you pay an extra $10 a month with T-Mobile, I believe. And when it comes time for the upgrade, you get the new upgrade free in 2 years. Or every year. I think it's every year.
Yeah. Yep. I know for a fact AT&T, or not AT&T, Sprint does that. I'm pretty sure AT&T does it as well.
And I think 2 years, sweet spot. I don't want to move all my stuff from phone to phone every year. That's kind of a lot of work.
Yeah. But of course they do it every year because that's when new phones come out, once a year. Yeah,
and it's genius. It really is because,
of course,
people want to keep the new stuff going. Heck, most of the time I do too.
Exactly.
But with phones, I just don't want to convert my files. If there was an easier way to sync stuff myself, not with having the company do it, like if I could do it personally, simply and easy, I would do it. But nah.
Yeah. So the answer for that is technically a micro SD card. But even then, I guess you could still technically save your apps on it too. I don't know. It's just kind of a hassle to transfer files on a phone with only your phone. I've tried many times. It's kind of tedious, and you really don't know how the directories work. I don't know.
Does
it's hit
the
or miss.
S9 even have a micro SD port?
What's up?
Does the S9 even have a micro SD port?
I mean, expandable storage is pretty common in flagships, so I would imagine it does.
Okay.
It would be in the SIM card tray, like with the earring pop hole.
Ooh, see, I believe that is covered up by my phone case.
Yeah, like it's not like under the battery anymore.
Okay.
It's in the SIM card tray.
Well, I'd hope not. They made their backs glass like some other
Exactly.
property companies, which
Right.
I'm okay with. It's one more thing to break, but if you're careful, I mean, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I love holding phones without cases, I just can't not have a case. Like, I have never had a cracked phone in my entire life, Austin. Have you?
For a very short time, I think I did. I think my S6
Mm-hmm.
cracked at one point just before I got rid of it.
Yeah.
But before that, shockingly enough, no.
Mm-hmm.
And my first phone that I had took a hell of a beating.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that phone still works to this day. I still have it. Like 6 years later.
Yeah. I mean, I think I have my 5 and and I'm currently using the 7. I really need an upgrade. Oh my goodness. I'm hoping to get an S10 here in the next, like, 2 months. God willing, I get this job we've been talking about, but, cause I can get the 2-year, financing through my Best Buy card, but I don't really want to add another bill right now to my monthly payments. So
Yeah, I can't blame you there.
you know, but yeah, one other thing about the new iPhone, it was rumored that it would have USB-C, but it doesn't. I mean, I'm not shocked, but we're still on that Lightning port.
Yeah. And, that was their proprietary software. That was their uh, port that they created, so they're
Right.
going to keep trying to use it. And
Right.
that's cool, I do notice that more and more things are going USB-C ready.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they stayed away from it, maybe because they didn't want like USB-C flash drives able to be used on their phone.
I mean, I don't know, because their iPads are USB-C.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't
So
know.
it's not like they don't want to take the plunge. I just don't think they want to take the plunge on their, I would imagine, most sold products, which would,
So,
I would imagine, be the iPhone.
yeah, probably. And you got to figure, again, backtracing a few years for me, when I was working on the MacBooks, I almost said iMacs. I would have felt dumb. Um, I remember distinctively we had 2 external disk drives that we used to use
Mm-hmm.
because MacBooks don't have a optics drive,
Right.
and so a specific brand we had, if it wasn't certified Apple, if we didn't it didn't have Apple on it, it would not read the
You're
disk.
kidding.
It wouldn't read the external port being used.
Wow.
It would deny it.
It's crazy how restrictive they make their products.
So maybe that's changed over the last few years. I've been working in the field,
I don't know.
but I feel like it's a similar thing. They don't want to let their phones be able to be used by anybody but Apple, and nobody but Apple is going to use the Lightning port.
Yeah. I mean,
You
it
know,
makes sense. I mean, let's be real. Apple's a business. They try to make money as much as they can. And if they can limit you with like things like dongles and
Dongle.
and restrictive software and certain or not drives attachments that require you to have like an Apple chip in them for them to be compatible. I mean, they're gonna do it if the community allows for it.
And you got to figure this. Again, we're not hating on Apple.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind
At
of
least,
business as a whole.
yeah, we're not trying to at least. But look at a business. If you were the business owner, if I was the business owner,
Mm-hmm.
and you could, well, then you would.
Right.
It just makes sense. You gotta, because you're gonna hit a low eventually. Your company is going to take a hit somewhere. You're gonna fall percentage of stocks.
Right.
So you need to be ready to brace that. So
Right.
that's where you make your money right there.
Right.
And it's just one of those games. So when people and users allow companies to get away with big plays like this is what ends up happening. Phones go up across the market.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm surprised Windows hasn't upped their prices for their stuff yet.
What do you mean?
We gotta figure people are buying these MacBook laptops for, an astronomical price when you think about the
Right.
hardware they have. They could upcharge hardware for Windows too.
I mean, Windows is a little different though, because third-party manufacturers build laptops with Windows versus Apple, they make the hardware and the software.
That's fair. So don't they... Let's see here. So are iPhone screens still based off a Samsung company?
Last time I read into that, yes.
Okay. So they do outsource some of their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
It's just not everything whole. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The more you keep within yourself, the more profit you end up making.
Right. Naturally. Because,
so
right.
Yeah. That's good business. That's all it is.
Right. Because there's no need to make a profit if you're the one making it. Or because you don't have to buy it, technically speaking, from another company.
Have you seen a hard drive, like an Apple iMac? Holy crap.
Like from a laptop? From a Mac?
Like a MacBook, yeah. I don't know why I keep saying iMac.
No, I don't think so. Why?
So they're like SDIMMs, and my terminology is a little rusty. I haven't been in IT in a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know what an SDIMM looks like.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's like a backwards RAM card.
Mm-hmm.
It's the weirdest thing in the world.
So that's what their hard drives look like?
Yes. So it's at least the old Mac. Why do I want to say iMacs? I know better than this. We're thinking iPhones, iPads, iMacs just makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not.
Right.
So that's one thing I do give them is after you take off the back of a laptop case with the old MacBook Airs, it was a 1, 2, 3 to change that hard drive. It's much easier than a Windows PC.
Well, that's nice.
So that I will give them. It was a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But still, it sucked.
Yeah. Speaking of stuff that sucks, let's move on to the iPad here. Now, with me being a designer, Austin, I am looking for a tablet / 2-in-1 to design with at work, right?
Yeah.
And an iPad for the price is super ideal, but they still do not run Mac OS. And I need Mac OS to use things like Sketch for UX design. And it's just super limiting that iPads use iOS.
Yeah, that is limiting. It's really weird too because they're more of a tablet. So
Right.
I feel like you'd want to push it to more the laptop role.
Right.
That would make sense. But at the same time, being it's a tablet,
Mm-hmm.
it may not have the hardware to run their OS that well.
Now, I do know that iPads do use like 2 or 3 generations behind than the iPhones when it comes to the CPUs. So
that could be
right, like the new iPad, I believe, is running the A10 Bionic, which is 3 generations ago now. And I'm not complaining considering the price. The new iPad start at $329. That's not bad at all in my opinion.
No.
But they're just super limiting. I would literally only check my email and play games on an iPad. I can't do anything else on it. It's just restrictive for what it could offer. It can offer so much more to, especially, like I said, the design and development community when it comes to digital products.
Absolutely. And you gotta, so again, you know what I'm gonna say here. You know exactly what I'm gonna say as an alternative for an iPad.
Uh-huh.
Or any tablet for that matter.
Yeah.
Chromebook.
Yeah.
It's a tablet. It's cheap. It's cheaper than most tablets on the market.
Yeah.
You saw the sketching app I downloaded free yesterday when we were at the restaurant.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I was sitting there drawing sketches out for a website plan Colton and I are having done.
Right.
So I mean, it's super simple. Yes, Chrome OS still needs some help.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally a mobile OS. But
Yes.
you know.
It has its kinks. It's definitely new, but
Yeah.
Chrome's only a few years old, aren't they?
Chromebook. I don't know. Those they became more mainstream when I was in my senior year of high school, but that was 4 years ago.
Yeah, so they're still new.
Right.
They're not like tablets that have been out since my early high school career, if not middle school.
Oh yeah, I got my iPad. I think I have a third gen iPad, maybe a second gen. I got that before I was even in junior high, I think.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I was probably a freshman.
Yeah.
So these have had the years to get better,
Mm-hmm.
but they're keeping it a few generations behind, probably to make them cheap, so the market buys them.
I'm surprised. Carry on.
But you can get, the Chromebook, do everything you want to do, and $250. That's all it is.
I mean, not everything. Like, you can't download Sketch or Adobe XD on it for, like, my professional sake.
You probably could just off a third party thing. They don't really fuss about the not being on Google Play like Kindle does with their Amazon stuff.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know they had stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Because you got to figure Steam's not Google Play.
Right.
Or it doesn't have to be, at least.
Right. Well, I mean, it is on Google Play, but okay.
You can download it off the website.
Interesting.
Discord.
So there's a hard drive?
You can get Discord. Yeah, there's a small hard drive. It's small.
It's 64 gigs, right? Or
Something
32?
like that, but just save all your work on the cloud.
Interesting. It's touchscreen now. Yeah, because you were using the touchscreen last night.
Whole tablet.
Right. But what I was going to say is I'm surprised. I'm actually very surprised, especially this year, that Apple has not released a Mac OS iPad on top of the iOS iPad just to kind of see what the demand for it is. Because even though MacBooks are slim and I would say portable, tablets are just more portable. They're lighter. If not, they're more than half or less than half the weight of a MacBook. And then people will still buy the Apple Pen.
Yeah, but so that works, I think, in a small sense. But let's face it, for guys especially,
Okay.
for us to carry a tablet, we gotta bring something with us to put that tablet in.
What do you mean?
Like a backpack, like a laptop bag.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
So you might as well have the laptop.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
I think, like with women, maybe they can put it in their purse.
Mm-hmm.
It's convenient for them.
Yeah.
But with us as guys, we can't do that
Right.
unless we carry a purse. Some do. That's okay. So with that in mind, they may not have the market, they might not have the sales to make an individual OS for the iPad.
So I can probably second that assumption because it does have, like I said, 3 generations behind when it comes to the processor. So I guess it kind of makes sense. And another thing to maybe even back up that assumption, they only released the regular iPad this year. They didn't release an iPad Air, they didn't release an iPad Mini, and they didn't release an iPad Pro. Now, I'm not sure if they didn't do that because they kind of started making these, like, school events, and that's when, like, that education iPad came out or something like that, right?
Yep.
So I'm not sure if those iPads have a separate event. But then again, the school year just started. So you would think that event would have been, like, this week or within the past, like, 2 months. But it wasn't. Which makes me think iPad sales are going down significantly.
They might be. I think tablet sales as a whole are starting to go down. What's really interesting is, when I was a student in high school and stuff like that, my friends had tablets. It was cool.
Right.
To have a tablet. I never had one.
Right.
But now I'm noticing the older generation is. My aunt, my dad had one. My grandmother had one.
Yeah.
And now my generation is no longer having.
Yeah.
So I feel like the sales went up in age, and now that's not as much because, they don't need them as much, or they don't want them. I guess is more the thing I should say.
Right.
So it's interesting.
I feel like a lot, especially the older generation, uses tablets primarily for reading instead of carrying books around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially with like Amazon Prime and Kindles, you can subscribe and get so many books for such a cheap price. You know what I mean?
So we're on this book topic, and I have to ask you.
Oh, okay.
Not scripted at all here.
Okay.
Do you think libraries are going to be around in 20 years?
You know, for the
Like,
sake of university research, they have to be. Because
no, they don't.
well, here, hear me out. Certain professors did not accept web sources for papers. It had to be book sources. I had to step in a library just to do these research papers. And it was so irritating because some professors, they're just old school. They don't want to check your sources, assuming they do, on the internet because they probably don't know how.
Probably right, but that's why I'm saying 20 years. Most of those professors will be gone.
I don't know.
And you also got to think, you can, assuming you can find a book online, you can just create a book source on your paper.
Yeah.
And say you used a book when you use the internet.
True.
Because it's the same thing, it's just different formatting.
True.
So every book, every text that we ever have, any medical journal or anything, is all going to be online. Most of it already is. With some exceptions. I think like the Congressional Library, that's always going to be a thing.
Well, yeah.
But public libraries, I don't see surviving 2030.
It would certainly be interesting to see how that pans out. Because, I've gone through, obviously, grade school, middle school, high school, 2 years of college, trade school. I've literally stepped into a library probably less than 5 times.
Yeah.
And it was only to do research projects for school.
Yeah.
I never went willingly, ever.
Me either. No. Unless I wanted to use a computer, which they may make cyber libraries.
Yeah. Okay. I have honestly probably been to the library more to print off things because I didn't have a printer at the time than to actually do research and read books.
Oh, I still do that because I hate printers I
True.
hate them.
Yeah. The printer I have is actually pretty decent. It's huge, but it gets the job done.
Yeah. So, reversing gears here.
Yes.
Apple TV Plus.
Apple TV Plus.
What do you think?
The price, super low. Super low. It's a direct competitor to definitely Disney Plus, which is, I believe, also going to be $4.99 I think only if you buy it 12 months at a time. I think regular price for Disney Plus is $6 or $7.99. But the only reason this is going to pop off is because of celebrity endorsements. Even Oprah is going to have an Apple TV Plus exclusive show.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa as well. I think that's his name. Aquaman is going to have his own show or movie. I'm not sure if it's a show or movie. And then the dude from The Office is also on one of these shows. They have some solid work coming up for this. And I guarantee you people are going to just get it anyway just because of how cheap it is. But I think definitely the celebrity endorsements are going to really drive this through the roof.
Yeah, they have to. And everybody's going on this original content bit. Netflix is going huge on it. Hulu's starting to do it. YouTube has been doing it.
Yep.
Everybody's starting to get on this binge, trying to get subscription pays, and
it's where it's honestly, at.
No, it's too much, man.
No, it's where it's at, as in people are cutting cable, man. Everything is streamed now.
Absolutely, and it was gonna hint that way eventually.
Yeah.
And it's slowly, I'm sure, TV companies and stuff like this are seeing a trend going downward.
That's why all these networks have their own apps on the streaming platforms. Like on Amazon Fire Stick, like USA Network, ABC, True TV, Bravo, they all have one. And the only way it works is if you have cable and you sign in with your cable provider. So there is obviously still that incentive to still buy cable, but there is also some free viewing options.
Yeah. It's just so much, though. Like, we have so many options to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I am not even slightly intrigued by the YouTube originals.
There were
I've
a couple
seen them.
that were pretty solid, but I'm not paying $10 to view it.
Exactly. And then you have the Netflix original, which were probably the first one to really start going with the original run.
Right.
But they make them in such mass quantity.
Mm-hmm.
The TV shows don't continue. They fall off. And the movies are meh.
Yeah, they're meh. The shows are way better.
The shows are better, but they don't continue because they make 6 shows at a time.
I guess that's fair. I mean, it really depends. Like, I to date have only watched one Netflix show, I think. And a Netflix original, I should say.
Really?
And yeah, that's it.
That's a lie.
No.
Yeah, it is.
What's the other one?
What have you watched?
I've watched Stranger Things. I guess you can say Jailbirds, but that was only like 6 episodes for one season.
That was 2. Okay.
I can't think of any other ones, to be honest with you.
So, haven't you watched I'm blanking on the name right now. Designated Survivor.
No, I've never heard of that.
Oh, then I am thinking of somebody else. I was still right. You lied, but
yeah,
you still had 2. You still had 2.
I mean, I didn't really count Jailbirds because it was so short.
It counts.
It was funny though. You guys should go watch it. It's literally about people who are in jail, and it literally shows life in jail. Like it's not like what you think it is. It's actually more funny than you think. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. It's definitely something you should watch just to experience it. It's pretty insane, but super interesting at the same time.
And we also have Prime TV to think about too. That takes some market share.
Prime TV, I have it.
Not Prime TV, but
like
Prime Video. There we go.
Yeah, Amazon Prime Video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I only have it just because I have Amazon Prime. To my knowledge, I think only also one series I watched on there willingly.
So I only have it because of Game of Thrones.
Oh, what? How does that correlate?
What do you mean?
How does Game of Thrones correlate to Prime Video?
Because you have to have the HBO sub to watch that one, and it's part of Prime Video.
So you're saying you can buy an HBO subscription through Prime Video?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's cool.
So, side note, Hulu. I finally used it for a little while.
Yeah.
It's what started my Game of Thrones watching.
Ah.
And,
the culprit.
It's a 7-day free subscription, right? I didn't realize how much they price gouge. They are like a TV company, literally.
Oh, yeah.
You had to pay for every separate subscription you have. So by the time I got the shows I wanted to watch, like Game of Thrones and stuff like that, my bill went from $12 a month to like $45.
Yep. Just like Sling TV. You pay by the channel. It's pretty insane.
It was nuts.
Yeah. And on the topic of pricing, did you hear that Netflix is going to start releasing shows in not bulk quantity anymore?
Good.
So for example, Stranger Things season 4, they're going to release it 1 week at a time, meaning assuming it's a 10-week series, they're going to get 4 months of pay out of you instead of 1 month of pay.
I'm surprised they weren't doing it to begin with. That just makes more sense.
It does make more sense from a business standpoint, but people, my dude, fuming. Oh my goodness, I've never seen so much fire under Netflix's ass.
It's only because they're so used to like Netflix was one of the first ones to come out.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first one to come to my knowledge.
Yeah, I think so.
And it was immediately done as the binge watch stream station.
Mm-hmm.
So they started that motto and they kept it going with having all the shows released at once to let you binge watch it.
Right.
That's great for like view usage because that's huge. You get it really quick.
Right.
But keeping a customer base that way is probably difficult.
I would imagine.
So it's smart to do it the other way around. That's how
Right.
TV stations keep the views, like the CW. They keep releasing a show every week.
Of course. Like,
So-
it's literally why every cable channel releases everything on a weekly basis and not in bulk.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's a little bit of history there. Maybe it was only possible to do that at first, and then people just got used to it. But,
Possible.
you know, now with all these subscription things and the bulk, givings of episodes, I mean, things did take a turn there, but now things are kind of reverting back in a business sense.
Yeah.
Super interesting to see.
The next couple of months with the Apple TV Plus should be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure when this launches. Because why is there a plus? Like, wasn't there? So yeah, there's Apple TV and Apple TV Plus. So Apple TV, let me just see here. I'm trying to get. So the new Apple TV app. So this is just their streaming platform, which I would imagine is free based on your RIP iTunes library. And then I believe on top of getting this Apple TV, you also have to buy Apple TV Plus or subscribe to it for more content. It's kind of like a Fire Stick. Like, you got to get the Fire Stick, but you have to then buy Amazon Prime Video to actually use the Fire Stick.
Yeah. It may work out for them. You never know.
Oh, no, it's really, definitely going to work out for them.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those, how they market it. The celebrity names are going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
So, side note, the new, again, not name dropping specific too much here, the new Media Care that we have coming up?
What do you mean?
Near B-Dubs?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know who's going to be there the 21st?
Who?
Patrick Sharp.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Lit.
So, that's exactly the same thing that Apple's trying to do right now.
Yeah.
They're getting big names to go behind their new product to get people to flock to that product to go, hey, this is where it's at.
Right.
So, it's going to be very, very, very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
To see how Apple, with all this plays out. I kind of want to see 3-month sales of the iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Yeah.
I want to see how well that $1,100 phone does, maybe compared to the last generation they did, where the margin was higher of price.
Right.
Will more people just pay the extra $100 to have the best one?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they going to just stick with the middle ground?
Right.
I think they're going to pay the extra $100.
I can see it. They're already used to doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, heck. Yeah, I can't say that I would, but I mean, if you look at a 24-month payment plan,
right,
that's only.
It's not that expensive, honestly.
Yeah, that's not that much more money.
Yeah.
Like $2 extra, a little more.
Yeah, right. It's super cheap if you look at it from that point of view.
So who wouldn't do it? I mean.
Right. And, I mean, let's be real. People are buying the Max just because it's bigger and people like bigger screens. That's probably the only reason they're going to buy it.
Yeah.
Because I think the resolution is only 200 more pixels width, and the battery, like I said, is so minusculely bigger than just the regular 11 Pro. So, I mean, it's really just down to screen size at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And screen size, as we know, especially to me, that's huge. That's massive.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about the multi-cameras going right now?
So, I mean, it's been a thing for like 2 years now. I can see why. But at the same time, I feel like people should be taking more of a Google Pixel route and just do it with software. I mean, I'm not sure if that'll lower the cost. I'm sure it won't. But, I mean, what? In a year or two, what are we going to have? 6 cameras on the back of the phone? I mean, that's just kind of overkill if you ask me. It's a phone, not a camera. You might as well just buy a professional camera at that rate.
But see, professional cameras are obsolete now almost.
Not if you're a photographer.
Not if you're a photographer, but I think phones. So remember how I said you could only do so much with the space given, like the batteries?
Right.
Just like the hard drives, just like the graphics cards. It's space dependent.
Mm-hmm.
So they must have hit a bottleneck with how good they can make a camera on iPhones.
Yeah.
Because they have to add more.
Right.
So with that in mind, they're trying to get better, increasingly better pictures. Which means they're going to have to pay more and more money to top that with a professional.
Yeah.
My bet is they're trying to make a play to get rid of professional camera.
Now, okay, I agree with you. That's definitely what they're doing. But I'm just saying from a professional sense. Like, if you're a professional photographer, you're definitely going to be having a DSLR around your neck with your phone as your secondary camera. Just like vloggers, like Casey Neistat, Jesse Wellens, for example, I don't think they'll ever put down a DSLR, ever.
And that's present day, though. We can't speak for later on.
I mean, true. I'm just saying.
And like you mentioned, software.
Mm-hmm.
While the software may be easy to use, not everybody is going to go the extra mile to get on that software and learn how to use it to make their stuff better.
You still have to use software to switch the cameras on the current iPhone anyway.
But that's simple. That's and they already have it in their hand. That's not a second step. It's a convenience factor, like everything else in the world.
Maybe I'm not understanding what you mean then, because I thought we were talking about the iPhone with the software.
I thought the software was third party on a.
Oh, no. When I mean software, I mean the built-in camera app software, like on the phone.
Oh, see, I didn't know about that with Apple.
Yeah.
I know Samsung has something similar-ish, kinda to a small scale.
They have 2 camera apps?
They have a camera app, and then they have a lot of third-party apps that allow you to edit your pictures better. You can edit the picture within Samsung, so like when you take the picture, there's some buttons you can hit. They have a little custom animation programming and stuff like that on the S9 at least.
Right.
But it's insignificant, and I never do it. At least in my personal opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I never use them.
I thought you were talking third party on a computer, like you have to plug in your phone, transfer the picture, edit the picture, put it back on the phone.
Nah.
People aren't going to do that.
Of course not. Unless you're a professional graphic designer or photographer, you're not going to be doing that. Not even near.
No, not a chance.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me just kind of take a look here.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we covered all the show notes. That's exciting.
Woohoo! And what's our time here? What's our time?
We literally in 3, 2, 1 just hit the 2-hour mark of our raw podcast data.
Wow.
First podcast with the hiccups is probably going to be very close to 2 hours.
Pretty close to what?
2 hours.
Oh my God.
I did not think it was going to go that way, but we went on some pretty hefty tangents, which is not bad. But, I mean, we just expanded on the tangents.
We did. And so, okay, so for the community aspect here,
yeah,
our personal goal behind the podcast is to, just, have fun, talk about things going on in the world right now, whether it's technology, gaming, pop culture, whatever's going on.
Mm-hmm.
We'll, of course, take user feedback. If you guys follow our Twitter, We're actually going to make a Discord channel. We're going to get a shareable link there.
Yep.
Go ahead, jump in, get some things you want us to talk about. We may not be the most knowledgeable, but we'll look into it a little bit and do what we can,
Right.
But our goal is to make hour-long podcasts.
Right, and we clearly accomplished that.
We crushed it. We could make this 2 episodes if we wanted to.
We literally doubled our expectation there.
So, note to us to get better, to give you guys better content, not as long content, is we're probably going to make our notes in half.
Probably. Honestly, our notes, other than intro and outro, was just 4 points.
I know.
It's crazy.
Maybe on our notes, we're just going to put one thing that we want to really cover.
Just one.
Just to get us started. And that's it.
Exactly. And then, yeah, that's it. I mean, we might just write down the 1 or 2 predominant things that happened, but, like, I honestly thought we were going to fly over Area 51, Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, and Gears 5 and Fortnite. I thought that was going to be no more than 15 minutes altogether.
So you thought 45 minutes for Apple Keynote?
I honestly thought, like, 75% of this, was going to be Apple Keynote.
Wow.
I mean, we easily talked, I think, about an hour about Apple. But
yeah, no, I think so too.
Yeah. But now we know how long our tech portions are going to be when major tech events happen.
Oh boy.
Gonna be like Drop Frames or PKA podcast or whatever that's called, freaking 4-hour podcasts talking about one thing, huh?
I mean, I bet we could do it. I just, if the users are there for it, I'm game.
Right.
I'm cool with it. I can't believe it's already 6 o'clock Central Time when I got up at 3 o'clock and got on my computer at 2:30.
Right?
Or 3:30.
3:30, yeah. Right.
So time's flown by. This was a lot of fun.
It sure has, yeah. It was a lot of fun. I'm very excited for us to do next week's episode already.
I'm game, man. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So I think that wraps us to the outro here.
Oh, yes.
So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys, share, tell a friend. Yada yada. Join our social media.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get Colton a Discord link here soon for our Discord server. You're welcome to jump in whatever you want.
Definitely.
We actually stream. I shouldn't say stream. It's not streaming. We record from the server itself.
Yes.
So you'll see us pop in there from time to time. We'll play some games on the side. It'd be cool. It'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, feel free to hit us up on Twitter. It hopefully will get the handle at Alton Podcast. We'll throw the Discord link somewhere. We want to be interactive with you guys. Let's start a conversation. Let's discuss. Let's disrupt with our ideas. Let's innovate with each other.
It's gonna be great. And most topics, 99% of them, probably fair game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's just blanket that. I don't think Colton and I personally have many. What's the politically correct word here? Limitations. How about that? That's the best thing I can think of.
Yes.
Though, personal standpoint, I'm not very politically correct.
Yes.
So if you want to throw those in there too, depending on how bad, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it, Austin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we're good.
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys so much for listening to episode 1 of the Alton Podcast. Again, we are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Central Time. Make sure you guys hit us up on the social medias. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for stopping by, guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good week. We'll catch you guys later.